This is a 1996 Toyota Prado, and if you live in the United States, you may have never seen one of these as they were actually never sold stateside. It was a part of the 70 series Land Cruiser and was essentially a budget version of the Land Cruiser meant more for on-road driving rather than off-road. And these are actually really cool. So this one was actually originally in Japan and was imported into Seattle, and then the dirt tourist who I'm borrowing this from today took over with it and has built it up with plenty of awesome modifications that we'll be getting into later in this video. With that said, make sure to check out his Instagram down below as a thank you to him for letting me borrow this today. We'll be going into everything that you need to know about the Toyota Prado from this generation. I'm also going to go into the features on the inside, outside, and all of the modifications, and then later on also driving it and telling you guys all of my impressions. Now, as I had mentioned a little bit earlier, the Toyota Prado was geared more towards on-road use instead of off-road like the Toyota Land Cruiser. That meant this actually gets softer suspension, which made it a little bit more usable on road and a little bit less of a bumpy ride. It of course also was a 3-row SUV, making this a little bit more for transporting people and a little bit less about transporting luggage in the rear. And of course, outside of that, it also was geared to being more of a budget vehicle than the Land Cruiser was, because even at this point, the Land Cruiser was getting bigger and bigger as the 80 series had come out at the same time as the 70 series Prado back in 1990. And if you are interested in learning more about the 80 series Land Cruiser, I do actually have a card up above that you can click over to my full review of the 80 series Land Cruiser as well. Now, in fact, actually something interesting is that the new Land Cruiser that is coming out here soon is actually based on the global platform of the Prado and no longer actually of the Land Cruiser that you see in other global markets, making the new Land Cruiser actually more similar to this one than to the other ones. So now the precursor of the Prado that we see here today actually came out in 1984, and it actually wasn't known as the Prado and was just a 70 series Land Cruiser. At that time, it actually only came in a 2-door version with a shorter wheelbase. But it wasn't until 1990 that we got the Prado that we see right here, which has the longer wheelbase and a 4-door design. Along with that update, it also came with a new grille, some new headlamps, and redesigned fenders. And this became hugely popular in global markets, as it was a fantastic Toyota